Hello, I'm Brenton Solomon, and I'm going to give you some tips today on how to shoot video. Now we're going to look at some basic rules of thumb for shooting video. Anyone who is a beginner or just now picking up a camera and wanting to do some YouTube videos, if you follow these rules, you will be able to put together professional looking videos. Now the first principle I want to look at is take a square like this or a rectangle and then draw you a tic-tac-toe scene on your rectangle. Now we're going to look at composition of pictures and a few little principles on the sequence that you should use to put together a video and not have a jump cut or make it look odd, in other words. So this is a tic-tac-toe grid. The rectangle is your screen on your TV after you're done with the video. Now like on if you were to go to a scene and you wanted to get you an establishing shot, this can change for whatever video you're doing. You can change these kind of things for artistic license, and you don't always have to have an establishing shot. But let's say you're going to a premise or a place and you're going to shoot an interview with someone, and you want to show where they're at. Now the first shot you would want to get, just roll with me, would be, I can't find my pencil. Okay, the first shot you would want to get would be an establishing shot, and that shows you where you are at. So in the beginning of this video, if I use it or not, I might use it, might not, but you would want to show where you're at. So in this video I basically showed my house and where you are at. So if you're shooting like an interview with two people or two people talking or something like that, you would show where you're at, and here your house, you would do a center framing, so you would show the house in the center of the screen. Okay, now we're going to talk about some other types of shots. This would be considered to be a wide shot. This shows the whole person. Now this person, I meant to have them kind of looking in this direction, and whenever someone's looking in that direction, you want to put their eyes in the tic-tac-toe part here on this part of the grid, and this looking this direction. If this person was looking in that direction better, this is called lead room, and you always want to have lead room. Okay, now this would be a medium shot from around the waist. I try not to land exactly on any joints of the body, but you know, you use your best judgment what looks good. Sometimes it's different for each setup, but this would be a medium shot from around the waist, and eyes still on this top line always. And if they're talking to someone, you put them with lead room this way towards whoever they're talking to, and then the next kind of shot would be a basic a close-up. Now this person's talking to someone, and this is a close-up shot, still having the lead room going towards who they're speaking to. Now whenever you get a reaction shot, you can have both of the people in the shot, but if you get your next shot of the other person speaking back to this person, you would put them in this side of the screen with their eyes on this same grid line, speaking this way, and that's called a converging vector. And you want them looking this way. If you film it and you was to go on the other side of this person and shoot that, you would have a jump cut, and you do not want jump cuts. They do not look right. They're unnatural to the flow. So the next, you would show this person on this side speaking, and then you would, when the other person speaks, you show them looking this direction. So it's a converging vector, both coming towards the same center of the screen with their eyes in whatever, this grid on the tic-tac-toe symbol, and this grid on the eyes on that grid on the symbol also. So, but if you were to have someone looking at the camera, you would want to center their eyes on this top line on the middle of the screen with no lead room, and make sure that you have their eyes on this line, because that's one thing I see a lot is what we call in broadcasting headroom. This is headroom. If you're shooting for a director and you have your earpiece in, you're running the camera, if you have their eyes down here, the director would say you have too much headroom, tilt down. So you would tilt your camera down, get them, they would probably cut to another camera and then come back to your camera when you had it right. And hopefully you didn't do that on the air or live or something. Okay, so that's some basic principles. Now, other thing I'd like to talk about is when you go to a scene, there is a, let's say you have a person here, let's do stick people, person here, and these two people are going to be talking. They're looking at each other, and they're both looking this way, okay? And you now first thing you want to do is you need to establish a line somewhere on this scene. Okay, you got houses back here, you know, trees, whatever, you know, you might think about your background a little bit, you know, hills or whatever may be in the scene, you know, who knows. But when you get to a scene that you're going to be shooting and you're going to be looking at these two people in this case here, you want to establish a line through the scene. In this case, put this line right through here. Now, from this scene, you never want to cross this 180-degree line. This is a rule that you don't want to ever break. If you shoot from anywhere on this side of the line, you cannot go to this side of the line here and shoot any video, or it will be a jump cut and it will look odd and it won't look right. There may be some cases where you could break that rule, but as a rule of thumb, you do not want to cross that 180-degree line once you establish it. Now, there's scenarios where you could establish that line this way, and you stay on this side of the line and shoot everything from that side. Or you could shoot everything from this side of the line, but once you establish that line, for whatever reasons you may choose, you do not want to cross the 180-degree line. Okay, now we will go back and do a little bit of a review. And we will look at, just a second. Okay, here we go. Now this is a wide shot. This is a medium shot. And this is a close-up shot. Now you can have extreme close-up shots that would be even closer than that. The eyes will still stay on the third line as you draw in, and it may change a little bit the closer you get, but you can have extreme close-up shots. But as a rule of thumb, you have wide shots, medium shots, close-up shots. That's a rule of thumb. And establishing shots. And of course, extreme close-up shots that would maybe be something like this, you know, in that area or something, you know. Then there are cases where you can do that, but those are basic rules of thumb. Okay, now I've taken my camera off the tripod here so that I can kind of show you a basic overview again. Now, this would be considered a wide shot of two people talking. Now, I'm going to zoom in and kind of show you a little bit of you know, of how things are. This would be a medium shot. Their eyes are, you know, around a third. Now one's taller than the other, so kind of split the difference. That's a medium shot. Now I will zoom in. That's a close-up shot with their eyes over in that part of the grid with lead room. Now once that person got done talking, boom, there you are with them with their eyes in their part of the grid of the tic-tac-toe symbol with lead room. And then maybe conclude with another medium shot, and then you can edit all these together and have a great video. Another thing I like to try and do whenever I'm shooting video is use a tripod. A tripod is fabulous for making video steady. You always want to use a tripod when you can, and set the tripod up on eye level with people. Now there's certain cases where you would shoot from a lower level up at a person to create certain effects, like being larger than life, and there's certain moves that you can create from doing that, or shooting down at someone to make them seem vulnerable. Artistic license is always something that you want to pay attention to when shooting video, but set the tripod up on eye level in most cases as a rule of thumb. And even setting this shot up here. Now there's some times where I'm looking at the camera directly from, I'm video taping myself, so I'm taking the camera and setting it up on the tripod and doing the best I can because I have no videographer. So I am the videographer, and it's hard to do that by yourself, but you can set the tripod up, flip your screen around where you can see it, and I'm looking at my monitor now on my little camera, and thinking about the video just a minute ago. I say, okay, I told them to center the shot up, so that's what I want to do for this. But there are cases where you might not exactly center someone up. That's artistic license. But in most cases, a general rule of thumb, if they're looking directly at the camera, you put them in the center with their eyes on the top line of the tic-tac-toe grid. That's I think the best way to explain composition. But I maybe would have framed this picture with something else interesting in the background with me slightly to the side. For artistic license, you could possibly do that and get away with it. So like I said, these are rules of thumb. Use your own judgment, but do follow these rules in most cases, and it'll make your videos great. Thank you. I'm Brenton Sawn, and it's been nice speaking with you.